We have a special guest, KeeZY. Today, he will be promoting his wonderful works. KeeZY is an independent artist, a filmmaker, director, fashion designer, and all the above. So I'm going to give it to KeeZY so he can tell you more about himself.
Yeah, so a lot of people know me for different hats. I got started when I was like 11 to 12 years old, and a lot of people, you know, make that claim, but I actually recorded my first song, distributed my first song when I was about 11 or 12 years old. So I got started at that point. Um, then as the years progressed, that naturally went into shooting my first music video. I was actually a diss towards Machine Gun Kelly.
Have you guys made up since then?
No. And then after that, that naturally progressed in, doing other artists' videos, which gave me a chance to learn a lot about artists, how they operate, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. And then make money in the industry so you don't have to make it anywhere else. That naturally led to engineering other artists as well. So then I opened my first recording studio. I don't even know how long ago. I can't even remember.
Were you 12?
No.
Okay.
Maybe 17 or 18.
Oh, wow.
And then since then I've had 6 or 7 recording studios, again, getting to see how artists operate, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. And it's a lot of the same stuff, same mistakes, repeated, and being able to recognize them and then not do them myself. At the same time, using the method of compare and contrast, where most people compare themselves to the rappers down the street or their friends or the rappers in their neighborhood. But from day one, I'm comparing myself to 50 Cent, Bow Wow, Drake, whatever, Lil Wayne. And of course it didn't sound nowhere near those guys, but being able to recognize that, like, dang, this don't sound nowhere near blah, blah. What can I change? And then if you fall short, it still sounds better than the neighborhood.
Right.
Because of who you're comparing yourself to. So that, applying that to music, film, marketing, photos, every aspect, compare and contrast to who you're trying to be like.
So how did you get into the film sector? Like, we know you started at music at 12, but when did the film come into play?
I watched way too many movies. Probably every 2 or 3 days I would go to the movies by myself, seeing every single movie that hit theaters. I probably seen every movie on streaming platforms. But doing music videos naturally would start adding like skits, acting skits, or doing something that's just audio or requires audio in a music video. And then it's like learning how to make that look cinematic. And then naturally we start coming up with stories, scripts. And of course, then you start hanging around those people that are doing that professionally or went to school for it, and they introduce the aspects that you can't learn just from doing it, like vocabulary, paperwork, terminology, that type of stuff that you can't learn from just doing it. And then when the two come together, then everything starts falling into place.
Okay. So what was your first film project?
We did, well, actually before this one, we did a movie called Struggle that was just about what my friend was actually going through. And he was like waking up on the side of abandoned buildings, sleeping at the bus station, stealing all his food, stuff like that. And I was kind of filming them do it or reenact it.
Okay.
And make it into a movie. Our drive crashed before that one was done. That was maybe 2 years before the first real project, which was Family Money. It was kind of like a superhero drug dealer universe. We did 2 pilot episodes, and we did a 3rd episode also, but hard drive crashed again. So in the midst, I'm learning about hard drives.
Have you gotten new hard drives like that are
Yeah.
stable at this point?
No, they always break.
Oh,
So now Google Drive, Dropbox type of person.
okay.
But so we finished Family Money, and I was casting all the locals from the city, the people that were known in Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm.
And we did a big premiere for it. Again, learning those aspects of marketing and premieres, red carpets, public speaking, and then putting people in those positions, like, for example, a manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I would delegate tasks to the manager, like, okay, greet everybody that's showing up to the theater, seat everybody, stuff like that. And these people weren't established either, so I'm watching them make mistakes in those lanes, and I'm the type of person to learn from other people's mistakes without me having to do them. So I don't actually have to be the manager to know what a manager's doing wrong.
Okay. So with the films, I have seen a few of them, of course. Do you place your music normally, or is that something that like happened over time where you're like, I could do my own music versus getting other artists or having to license music from other people?
This is a loaded question. So I started off putting my music in there, but then I stopped because it decreases the value of it. And it actually decreases the value of it when everybody knows you did everything. And then it's like, oh, your music's in there because you did it. So I stopped taking credit. I don't want credit as a producer. I don't want credit as a director. I'll take it.
Okay.
But I would much rather you watch a movie, see me in it, or hear the song, and then you'll appreciate that it's in there. Okay. And then find out later that I did it. But in the beginning, just seemed like you're in demand.
Okay, like it. So you do have some new projects coming up, film, music. So let's get into your new album that's dropping. No One's Idol, or is it Nobody's Idol?
Nobody's Idol.
Okay. Tell us about that.
It's definitely probably the best album I ever did. The reason for the title is because it's kind of arrogant. The title's kind of arrogant because I'm basically saying, I'm a person that should be their idol, but instead they worship Playboy Cardi or, I hate saying names, but
say some more. We love to hear it.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like those people that aren't actually doing anything, but they're what's hot. So I'm saying nobody's idol, as in nobody's recognizing that I should probably be their idol.
Got you. So
sounds very arrogant.
A little bit, but hey, we love it. So there's 2 songs that you recently dropped. We've seen the videos of them, Top Shelf and Not About Us, Not About Me.
Not About Me.
Okay, so there's 2 songs you just dropped, Top Shelf and Not About Me. So are those songs going to be on the album? Or are those singles? How do they play into the release?
Neither of them are on the album. They were both kind of in between singles.
Okay.
One of them was to showcase 2 of the artists that were on a TV series we did called Center Stage. The other was kind of an interlude. Both of them are to showcase a new lane of visuals. I'm not only going to do that, but just to showcase some creative ideas.
Okay. When you say showcase new ideas of the visuals, what do you mean by that?
You'll definitely have to watch them to see what I mean.
Well, I've seen them. So just, is it like a new style for you? Like, because you have some really dope stuff. Like,
new style.
Cause it reminds me of Love is Overrated, where it has like that futuristic vibe and some stuff that the average artist is not capable of having done,
Yeah, I mean, that's whatever I have to do extra to stand out. Just modeling after Mr. Beast's philosophy, where the purple elephant, which is like you go on YouTube and you see a bunch of gray elephants, you're just gonna keep scrolling. As soon as you see a purple elephant, you're gonna stop. So if I got to do a little bit extra to be the purple elephant, I'd rather do that.
Okay. So what you as an artist, like saying the purple elephant, what are some things you would tell other artists or that you implement yourself to stand out as in this industry that is overly saturated?
I think most of that happens on accident because just knowing the mistakes they're gonna make, it's almost like a crystal ball. It's literally telling the future. Like it's been so many situations where I say to myself, this person's gonna do this. This person's gonna do this. And it could be something that happens in 5 minutes or happens in 5 years. It happens every single time because there's a pattern and a system, and everybody that breaks out of it, they did something different, but the same as the other people that broke out of it, if that makes sense. And it could be something as small as being consistent or focusing on themselves or I mean, you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
They did something that has been done before, but everybody's not doing it.
Okay. So what are some don'ts that you would tell an artist or that you implement for yourself?
Don'ts.
Yeah.
Um, I would say don't procrastinate. That's for sure. Um, don't listen to your music too much. And that's a viral mistake. Everybody does it. Because it's like a thin line between delusion and um delusion meaning like over obsessed. So like there's a slight bit of delusion in there if you can keep listening to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um which is fine if it's a middle ground, but then it's also like when you listen to your music too much, it gets old to you. If it gets old to you, it's gonna press you to go get in the studio. I need some new stuff. I need to go make some more music, and then you forget about this one. You don't put no marketing behind it. You don't focus on it, do a whole campaign because it's old to you now and nobody's
Mm-hmm.
heard it yet.
Okay.
So the middle ground is like, if you do fall into the delusion of like, I'm over obsessed, I can listen to this every single day,
Uh-huh.
remembering that, okay, I still have to, do the other steps for the song. I still have to put it out.
So let's talk about the new film projects that you have coming out. So I know you're working on a lot of television shows, movies. What can we expect in the near future?
In the near future, we just put out a movie called The Rap Game. That's like a sci-fi thriller, kind of leaning into the conspiracy theories about the industry, what they make you go through, stuff like that. It's just a play on that conspiracy theory that's out right now. Um, we just finished a series called Center Stage. That's where independent artists kind of, um, give a brief background on themselves. We show it, and then they perform on stage without any help, and they get rated on the star system. It's kind of like the music Shark Tank. The first season we just finished that comes out in 2 weeks. Then we finished a horror movie called Roadkill. I'm the star of that. That comes out on Halloween or soon after. And then another series called Spotlight, which is the same thing of center stage, but for models.
Nice.
Their performance is a runway walk. So it's kind of debuting them and, of course, getting away from there being a winner because the loser's always disregarded. So trying to be innovative in those spaces.
Okay. Do you feel like not having a winner was a conflict? Like people like to have a show pony, if you would, like someone that they're like that person did it.
I mean, I think everybody likes both because you got America's Got Talent or American Idol that did so great and is doing so great, but then you got Shark Tank, which is doing equally as great.
Right.
Shark Tank, there's no winner. It's bingeable. So the winner thing is cool, and you also got to have a grand prize. But in this sense, anyone can win because there's important people in the building. If they do good, any of them are going to work with them. That's how it should be.
Right.
And with it being music, everybody's different. So this is bingeable.
Nice.
Same with the model show. It's bingeable. And it's most likely going to get all of these people booked.
So have you you did say that you premiered Top Shelf to promote two of the artists on the show. Have you done other features with the other artists from the show?
There's a few features. I honestly can't remember all of them right now, but there's a lot of collaboration that happened. And most of it will release around the time of the show.
Okay. Okay, I want to get into you being known as Fashion God to an elite group of people. So I personally know that you can sew, you make clothes, and you also have a wine collection. So I want to touch on those two topics. So let's start with the fashion. So how did you get into that? How did you know like you had the capability? Was it more of like a styling and then you just decided, let me sew things, or how did that come about?
I'm glad this is being mentioned only because um, if I don't stay in a lane, people wouldn't really know that I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds some credibility. Um, at one point, I was full-fledged pursuing the clothing brand, working with the designer, working with the distribution company. So I'm learning everything about fashion distribution, like into stores like Nordstrom and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Nordstrom, but just distribution in general, the legal side of it, the design side of it, sizing, how important sizing is, just all of that type of stuff. It wasn't overwhelming, but there was so much other stuff going on that
Mm-hmm.
I determined I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay.
It's definitely something I would pursue again when the time is right, but with everything else going on, it just wasn't a good idea to go full fledged. And it's called Buddha Face because the person I was working with said I remind him of Buddha, so I called it Buddha Face.
Nice. So speaking of Buddha face, you have the Buddha face wine. So when will that be available to the public, or is it going to be an exclusive thing? Is it only at your events? How do we get a hold of a bottle of Buddha face?
So not just those two topics, but those two topics are in the same status where it's time consuming and I will circle back to it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the wine, there's a lot of, liquor licenses, stuff you gotta bridges you gotta cross, manufacturing, all stuff like that. And again, I'm gaining the knowledge to do it. It's just not the right time yet. So right now, yes, it's on a small scale. Only at events we do, only giving them away as gifts, stuff like that. It'll be there for a little while.
Okay. So I want to talk to you about some current things that are happening in the entertainment industry as a whole. I want to talk to you about AI, artificial intelligence. How has it been utilized in good ways, bad ways? Is it taking over as far as AI artists? Are you worried that an AI artist can take your space?
For a long time, I believed it was gonna replace a lot, but I currently use at least 40 different tools. Um I got subscriptions to most of them. They're and I'm saying this to say that using them, I've determined that it's impossible for them to replace humans. They can only enhance humans.
Okay.
And there's been situations where I would show a piece of AI work on practical work. So on a shot that's really shot, and or a picture that's really taken, and then using AI tools to help the editing process, they've always given better results. I don't think they're going to replace anyone. I think they'll enhance everyone. So for example, if we did something that required artificial light, and we had to composite it, for those who know what compositing is, and we had to composite it, there would be a slight difference in the light, the reflections, whatever, a slight difference. But when you implement AI tools, that difference is going to go away. It might be replaced with something else because AI is not perfect yet, but it's giving different results. Another example I can give is, if you use the generator and you generated pictures, you would get a 99% accurate picture, but something's going to be off. Something somewhere is going to be off. And it sounds small.
I noticed a lot with like the hands are looking all crazy or things like that.
Besides that, so like, let's say if it was a picture of this stage, the table might be moved over a little bit.
Oh.
The water bottle might be moved over a little bit. And those things, they are literally continuity problems. So I think when it gets a little bit better, it's always going to be best when it's used with practical footage. Always going to be better. Now, with that being said, there are a few AI projects that, because we can't dismiss the technology. It's going to be here forever. We can't dismiss it. You got to figure out how to implement it. So, just navigating that right now, knowing how to implement it. So for example, visualizers weren't always a thing, but now you can have a full blown music video,
right?
And just call it a visualizer if it's AI. So now you got visualizers that are almost full blown music videos. To me, they still look like very, very, very good video games.
Okay.
Like,
reasonable.
There's still moments where it's like, that's not real. And that's fine. It's just a new type of art.
Right.
So I would just boldly differentiate it.
Okay. So what would you tell, because there's some people who are still anti artificial intelligence and they're like, I'm not using it in my work. If you use AI, you should die. I've heard that from videographers before. So I'm curious, like, what would you tell them, the ones who are totally against artificial intelligence use?
I would say it's hurting you a little bit because the longer you take to get behind it or learn it, it's probably gonna hurt you, because I'm seeing edits that would have taken 2 weeks take 30 seconds.
Wow.
There's slight things off, but that's why you have to have the knowledge as a VFX artist or as a CGI artist to make those tweaks, to get rid of them,
Right.
to get rid of the flaws, and to completely disregard that technology. That's crazy. That's crazy. Once you see what it can do, and I was the same way before actually using it, you hate it. And then when
you hated AI at a point?
Yeah.
And now you have 40 tools?
Yeah. For example, in the Not About Me video, I couldn't make the camera go around me while I was sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it couldn't go around me is because when you film on a tripod, it's a plate. So when you go around the plate, it's like it's 2D.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out, wow, how can I get that shot? What can I do to get that shot? The only way to do it was to film on a dolly or something and then track it. I didn't know how to track at that point. So I'm like, there's no way for me to get this rotating shot. So then an AI tool came out called KeeZY, where you give it an image and it gives you a 3D model of
The object.
the object in that image. So I gave it me sitting on a couch and it gave me a 3D model. Now it was only for wide shots. It wasn't good on a close up, but when the camera's far away in the edit, you know, I'm going 360 around me. We're never able to do that before. So it's helping a lot of people tell better stories and create, I guess, more dynamic work. But it can't replace. It can't, like, imagine this. If it ever got to a point where AI could write the script, generate the movie, do the sound, and put it out, it just crossed the line to where it doesn't matter. You didn't replace anybody now. You added another creator.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So why would it ever get to the point where AI does everything? Why would it ever do that? Then we're just going to be sitting here watching all AI material. That's not going to stop me from wanting to work.
Okay.
It's not going to stop me from wanting to, you know, do my script or shoot my content. So it can never get to a point where it replaces everyone.
So how do you feel about the AI artists that are stepping into the industry? Like, it's just another artist to compete with, or?
They don't exist. They don't exist. All they remind me of are theme songs. So where, like a theme song of a game show or something, there's always been music that you weren't able to tie to a person. That's what this AI music is feeling like to me. You can't tie it to a person, so it's just something you hear and let it go. Maybe in the future they'll figure out a way to go to an AI artist concert, but I don't think anyone in this room is going to want to go to that concert.
I personally would go for the experience.
We might go once.
Yeah, but I was like, but I don't think it's going to replace, you know, the live shows like of Usher or Beyonce, where when I'm listening to Beyonce and she's crying on stage and I'm crying and
there's no chance.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because how people are talking about now, artists are connecting more with their fans and stuff like that. That's going to be even more of a requirement when these AI artists start blowing up, because if you can't meet a real celebrity, if you can't see a real celebrity's day-to-day life, what's the difference with AI artists? So you're going to have to show you're real more and more and more. Even after they know you're real, you're going to have to keep showing you're real.
So see me in person at my show. So how do you keep track of it all? Because you have your hands in so many pots. Like, we know you put fashion and the wine on the back burner for now. But you still have Spotlight, Center Stage, Roadkill, and the rap game, a new album, music videos that are dropping, artists that you're working with from those shows, models you're working with from those shows. How are you keeping track of all of these endeavors?
I would definitely say it's two things. One is priorities, where I'm not going to put anything in front of it. And that means, you know, not hanging out with people. That means not going certain places. That means I need my computer on my lap while I'm doing something else. Like, those minutes are crucial. And then learning how to do things faster. So if a music video used to take 2 months to edit, now it takes 4 hours.
No way.
So that being...
Before you go further, you can edit a music video in 4 hours?
I mean, it depends on the video. If it has a bunch of effects, no. But there's been a lot of times where go to a shoot with a client, shoot the video. We're done at 7:00, and he got the video back at 10:45.
Crazy.
And he was like, "What can you say?"
Right.
So, but getting to the point where music videos are not taking up all your time, where it's like, okay, we got a way to fast track this. And now I delegate a lot. I work with a lot of shooters and editors to where I can send them to work and pay them to do it. That's the other thing. Delegation is big, and then priorities, and then lastly, there's a whole lot of time in a day, 24 hours. That can either be delegated to sleeping double the time, or a job where it doesn't feel like a lot of time is being taken away from you because it's in a routine. But once you're not in the routine and you realize, oh my goodness, there is so much extra time. And when that time is dedicated to, think about it if you were editing a movie, right? And you're like, okay, I only have 3 hours a day to edit this movie because of everything else you got going on.
Right.
I only got 3 hours to edit this movie. So you end up with a certain amount of time that week. But if you didn't have none of that other stuff going on, whether it's a job or whatever, and then you got 8 or 9 hours to edit this movie, you technically could edit 2 other projects for 3 hours apiece. You see what I'm saying? So it's not hard to manage it at all. But the point that is not at now, I personally want to expand. So in order to do that, now I have to delegate. I have to bring other people in, especially the professionals that know what they're doing better than I can. So that timing mixed with the delegation is how we can get 4 to 5 projects done a year outside of music.
Right. That's wild. Well, kudos to you and your priorities and delegation.
Oh, and cocaine. No, I'm just kidding.
And cocaine. Just kidding. Well, other than that, I am really glad to have this moment to talk to you. Because on Inner Circle, we want to get involved with the artists and, just see where you guys are mentally. Like, how are you feeling? What's going on with your career? What's going on with people? But we are out of time today, so I definitely want to have you back on and continue this talk.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Please view everything we done talked about today.
Definitely will. Anything you want to tell to your fans and the viewers?
There's a whole lot in the works behind the scenes, and when it's all revealed, I'm hoping it will shift things because there's a lot of goals we're trying to hit with the content we're making. So I definitely want people to keep an open mind and kind of look at the bigger picture and notice that this is meant to be positive. A lot of it's meant to be positive, and create opportunities for people behind, in front of the camera, behind the mic, working the board, trying to rewind the clock a little bit.
Well, I'm so glad to have you on and can't wait to have you again.